what is meant by monoclonal antibody. So antibody, you know, it is produced by the B cells, okay, and this B cells that produce the antibody, this antibody, they are Y-shaped structure. They are Y-shaped protein actually. So these antibodies, they bind the antigens. Okay, this is we know. Okay, so there are two types of antibodies. Okay, one is called monoclonal antibody, and second one is called polyclonal antibody. So one type. So we have two types of antibodies. So one type is called monoclonal antibody, and second type is called polyclonal antibody. So let us understand what is meant by monoclonal antibody. So monoclonal antibody means, say for example, this is an antigen. Okay, so we are to understand that the antibodies do not react with the antigen. Rather, antibodies, they react with a part of antigen. The part of antigen to which the antibody reacts or to which the antibody binds, that is called epitope. So I'll just write it here. So we call it epitope, the part of antigen that is bound by antibody. Okay, that is called epitope. Okay, so epitope, it is also called antigenic determinant. Okay, so now just briefly I'll tell about this. So consider this to be an antigen. So this antigen, okay, they always have some type of structures on their surface. Okay, so let us assume that this particular antigen, so it has got this particular structure, this structure. Okay, so this kind of raised structure, any kind of structure, this is structure, this is one structure, then this. So all these structures are different. Okay, so now what happens, the antibody basically it goes and bind the epitopes. So different antibodies, they go and bind this epitopes. Okay, so I would say that all these are different type of antibodies that go and bind these epitopes. Okay, fine. So we have one last epitope. So it is bound by, say, this particular antibody. Okay, so what you find is that one antigen has got many different types of epitopes on their surface, and each epitope is recognized by different antibodies. Okay, so now what is polyclonal antibody? So polyclonal antibody means these group of antibodies, okay, they are specific for different, I would say, different epitopes. Okay, fine. Let me remove this and let me bring it towards this side. Okay, so now if you see the antibody of this particular antigen, so they are like this is one antibody. Okay, then this is one antibody. Okay, then we have this is another antibody. Okay, so this sort of antibodies we have, and all these antibodies, they recognize this particular antigen. Okay, fine. So now if I say, let's make a copy of these antibodies. Okay, so you find that this is a, you can say, so all these are in the box that I've shown. These are the mixture of the antibodies, mixture of the different antibodies that recognize different epitopes of this particular antigen. Okay, so now these are called polyclonal antibodies. So polyclonal antibody, in short, we can define it in this way. Can you see the whiteboard properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now these antibodies, I would say polyclonal antibodies. So what they are? So they are mixture of antibodies that bind to different epitopes, okay, of present on the surface of an antigen. It is called polyclonal antibody. Okay. Okay. So now we will talk about the monoclonal antibody. So what is monoclonal antibody? So let me remove this. So monoclonal antibody, in short, it is defined as monoclonal antibody. So they are the antibodies specific for one epitope only. So these are the antibodies, okay, which are specific for one epitope only. So if I go back here, in this case, say for example, the green color antibody, okay, this particular, so you can see that this particular green color antibody is specific for this particular epitope only. Okay, so if we have in our test tube, if we have only this particular antibody, we don't have any other antibody in our test tube. Say we have only this particular antibody.
Morning, sir.
So we have only this particular antibody. Okay, fine. So
Okay.
now see, earlier in the box I showed that we had a group of antibody, okay, that was specific for all the epitopes in the antigen. Okay, fine. In this case, we have only the green colored antibody. So that means all these antibodies, okay, they are specific for this particular epitope only. Okay, that means these antibodies will not bind the other epitopes. They'll bind only this epitope. Okay, so that means this one we'll call it a monoclonal antibodies. That means monoclonal antibodies are specific for only one epitope. Polyclonal means it is a mixture of the antibodies which are specific for all the epitopes. Okay, so here we have red color antibody, blue color antibody, yellow, brown color antibodies. So if we have this red, yellow, green, brown, all the mixture of the antibody which are specific for all these epitopes, so we call it polyclonal antibody. Okay, fine. So that is the difference between the monoclonal antibody and the polyclonal antibody. Okay, fine. So am I clear?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So monoclonal antibody means the group of antibodies which are specific for only one epitope. And polyclonal means we have mixture of the antibody which will bind different epitopes. Okay, so here I have shown the colored just to make you understand. That means these are different antibodies for specific for different epitopes. So that is what is the monoclonal antibody and polyclonal antibody. Okay, this is how we define, how we differentiate them. Now we will discuss about how the monoclonal antibody is produced. Okay, so let me go to the whiteboard here. So today's topic of discussion is the monoclonal antibody, not the polyclonal. I'll repeat this. So now the monoclonal antibodies, okay, so they are produced by a technique that is called hybridoma. Hybridoma technique. Okay. Now the thing is that how to produce the monoclonal antibody in large amount. Okay. Now let's say which cell of the body produces monoclonal antibody. That is the B lymphocytes. So B lymphocytes, okay, they are responsible for production of antibodies. Okay, fine. So that means one way to produce the monoclonal antibody in large amount is to culture these B cells. Okay, so that means antibody producing B cells. Okay, say for example, this is a B cell. Now this B cell, it will produce the antibody. Okay, so what we can do is that we can culture this B cell in a culture plate. Okay, that means just like tissue culture. So what we are going to do, say this particular B cell will culture. So you know that you have studied about the tissue culture bottle. Okay, let us assume that this is a tissue culture bottle. I will call this a or cell culture bottle. Okay, fine. So cell culture bottle, you must be knowing that this cell culture bottle, it contains the media. So let me say that this particular media is having, say, let me take a bigger brush. Say this particular, it has, this is a blue color medium that it has. Okay. Now in this medium, okay, what we are doing is that we are growing the cells. Okay. So, sorry. So this is a B cell. Okay. So similarly, what we are doing is that this kind of B cells we are growing in vitro. Okay. So so now these group of B cells, they will grow in vitro. We are just culturing them. We have studied about the cell culture. So we are growing these B cells in the tissue culture flask. Okay. So what will happen? These B cells we have obtained from the mice or we have obtained from the laboratory animals. Okay, now these B cells, they produce antibodies. Okay, so what will happen? They produce the antibody. Let me put a line over here. So they produce antibodies here. Okay. Now what will happen? Because we are growing these antibody producing B cells in the tissue culture, so the antibodies will be secreted into the tissue culture medium. So all this antibody you will find it in the tissue culture medium. Okay. So all these antibodies, so these are the antibodies, okay, that are specific for a particular epitope. So they will be present in the medium. Okay. So now this is the way how you can produce the antibodies in vitro, monoclonal antibody in vitro. Okay. Now the thing is that here there is a problem. Problem is that we have already discussed that in case of B cell producing this B cells, okay, B cells are not cancerous cells. We have already discussed that the cancerous cells only can, I think one of you can put off the audio. So now in this case, what happens? Like the antibodies, okay, that will be produced by the B cells, okay. So these antibodies will be available in the tissue culture medium. But the problem is the B cell, I think one of you giving some sound. What you do, what you can do is that you can just mute your sound. There is some kind of noise coming. Okay, okay, fine. So now the B cells, okay, they produce antibodies. But the problem is that the B cells which produce antibodies, they are not cancerous cells. So the B cells are not cancerous cells. Okay. Because of that, what happens? These B cells, the B cells producing antibody or antibody producing B cells, which are growing in vitro, they will not remain in the in vitro culture for a long period of time. After some times, all of these cells, they will stop producing antibody and they will die. Okay. But the thing is that we want a system in which the B cells, so we want a system in which the B cells, we have taken it out from the spleen of the mice and we put it into the culture. And then these B cells, okay, they should continue dividing and they should continue producing the antibodies. Okay. But practically what happens, once you take out the B cells and put it in the culture, after some times they will start producing antibody, and after few days, what will happen? These cells will stop dividing and they will die. So we want a system in which the B cells or antibody producing B cells, they will remain in the culture for an indefinite period. That means they will just go on multiplying and they will go on producing antibodies. So what can we do? Because we have already discussed that the normal non-cancerous cells or non-stem cells do not remain alive in the culture. Okay. So that's why we have a technique that is called hybridoma. So we'll discuss about it. We put the okay. So now we will discuss about the hybridoma. So now the hybridoma means here there are two words are there. So one is called hybrid. Second one is oma. Okay. Now what is meant by hybrid? Hybrid means any two different kind of cells or two different kinds of things. If you just put it together, so the product that you get, that is called hybrid. Now what is oma? Oma actually it stands for a cancerous cell. Oma is cancerous cell. Okay. So hybridoma means the cancerous cell, okay, that is hybrid in nature. Okay. So now how to produce the hybridoma? Okay. So what we do, the cells for making a hybridoma. Okay, so we require two cells. Two types of cells are used for making the hybridoma. Okay, the first one is the antibody producing B cell, the normal B cell. Okay, that produces antibody. Second one is the myeloma cells. So what is myeloma cells? So myeloma cells are the cancerous B cells. Cancerous B cells are called myeloma cells. Now these myeloma cells do not produce antibody. Okay, and this antibody producing B cell is a normal cell that produces antibody. Okay, now you see what is the difference between these two. The first one is a non-cancerous cell, but it is a B cell that produces antibody. Second one is the myeloma cell, that is a cancerous cell. Okay, first one is non-cancerous, second one is cancerous cell, but this cancerous cell do not produce antibody. Okay, then another point is that the first one, the antibody producing B cell, it is not a cancerous cell. Okay, that is why it will not remain in culture for a long period of time. But the myeloma cells, these are cancerous cells, so they will remain in culture for indefinite period. They will just go on dividing, no problem. So they can remain in culture indefinitely. But the first one cannot remain in culture indefinitely. So what we can do, we can fuse these two cells, okay, to get a hybrid cell. Now this hybrid cell will be having the qualities of both the cells, because myeloma cells, okay, do not produce antibody, but the myeloma cells, they will go on dividing. The first one, they produce antibody, but they do not divide for a longer period of time. So if we make a hybrid, so the hybrid will remain alive. It will go on dividing, okay, indefinitely, like a myeloma, and the hybrid cell will produce antibody, just like the antibody producing B cell. Okay, the hybrid will be having the qualities of both the cells. Okay, now what type of myeloma cells we will take? Okay, so the myeloma cells which we take, so these are genetically engineered cells. That means these myeloma cells which we use for this purpose, they do not have these two enzymes. One is called HGPRT and second one is TK. HGPRT, it's a very long name, hypoxanthine guanine phosphoriboside transferase, and TK is thymidine kinase. So these myeloma cells, they do not have these two enzymes. Okay. Now, what is the function of these two enzymes? So now you see, in any cell, okay, the DNA replication occurs. Now to replicate a DNA, you require nucleotides. So nucleotides are required to carry out the DNA replication. So now these nucleotides are synthesized by two pathways. There are two pathways by which these nucleotides are synthesized. Number one pathway is called the de novo pathway, and the number two pathway is called salvage pathway. So these two pathways, okay, through these two pathways, the cells, they make the nucleotides, and these nucleotides are required for DNA replication, as well as they are required for transcription. Now the HGPRT and the thymidine kinase, these two enzymes, they are required for the salvage pathway to make nucleotides. Okay, fine. So that means these two enzymes, they are required for salvage pathway. So salvage pathway requires HGPRT and thymidine kinase. Okay, but these two enzymes, they are lacking in the myeloma cells. That is why what happens, since these two enzymes are lacking in the myeloma cells, so myeloma cells cannot produce nucleotides by salvage pathway. It will produce nucleotides only by the de novo pathway. So de novo pathway is the only pathway by which the myeloma cells can produce nucleotides. It cannot produce nucleotides by salvage pathway because it does not have those two enzymes. Okay, but remember, those two enzymes are present in the B cells, antibody producing B cells. Okay, so antibody producing B cells can obtain nucleotides by both the pathways because they have thymidine kinase and HGPRT. Okay, but the myeloma cells they can carry out nucleotide synthesis only by de novo pathway, not by salvage pathway, because they do not have these two enzymes. Okay, so myeloma cells are deficient in HGPRT and TK, so they cannot make nucleotides by salvage pathway. Okay, now what happens? This is the B cell, green one, and blue one is the myeloma cell. Okay, so B cell is a normal antibody producing B cell. This is the myeloma cell, that is HGPRT minus TK minus. Minus means they do not have this enzyme. So when they fuse and they fuse together, then this fused cell, okay, it is called hybridoma cell. So it is called cell hybrid. So this cell hybrid made by fusing the B cell and myeloma cell, it is called hybridoma. Okay, so after the fusion, once the fusion occurs, so we have three types of cells. Okay, so one is hybridoma cells, one is unfused myeloma cell, and third one is the unfused antibody producing B cell. See, in this diagram, I have shown only one B cell and one myeloma cell. But practically, it is not like that. Practically, you have millions of B cells and millions of myeloma cells, and they are mixed together. And then what happens after mixing? So the one group of cells, so these three types of cells are made. So some of these millions of cells, some of them they fuse to form the hybridoma cells. Some of them do not fuse. Okay, fine. So that's why we have three types of cell after fusion reaction. One is the hybridoma cell. Second one is the unfused myeloma cell. That means a myeloma cell that did not fuse. And third one is the unfused antibody producing B cells. Okay. So now in our culture, we have a mixture of these three types of cell. But the point is that what we want only this one, the hybridoma cells. We do not want this cell and this cell. So in our culture, we have a mixture of these three. So we want to eliminate the unfused myeloma cells and unfused antibody producing B cells. So how can we eliminate these cells? So what happens? This mixture of cells, now they are kept in a medium. That medium is called HAT medium. So now hybridoma mixture, it is grown in the HAT medium, HAT hat. So HAT, H stands for hypoxanthine, A stands for aminopterin, and T stands for thymidine. So in this case, what happens? The aminopterin, okay, so aminopterin inhibits the de novo pathway. So you remember that the nucleotide synthesis occurs in two ways, de novo pathway and the salvage pathway. So this particular HAT medium, it has a compound called aminopterin. So aminopterin is a kind of antibiotic that inhibits the de novo pathway. Okay, then hence when you put this hybridoma cells in a HAT medium, so what happens? The cells totally dependent on the salvage pathway because de novo pathway is blocked by aminopterin. So only one pathway remains, that is salvage pathway. Then what happens? The unfused myeloma cells will die as they do not have HGPRT. The thing is that I have already mentioned that myeloma cells can carry out nucleotide synthesis only by de novo pathway. They cannot carry out salvage pathway because they do not have these two enzymes. Okay. The problem is that when you put them in the HAT medium, so these unfused myeloma cells, because they cannot carry out salvage pathway, and their de novo pathway is also blocked by the aminopterin. So what will happen? All the unfused myeloma cells will die. Okay. Then after that, we have three types of cell: hybridoma, unfused myeloma cells, and unfused B cells. So all the unfused myeloma cells will die. Okay, because of the HAT medium. Okay. Then remains only the first one, that is hybridoma and a third one, that is the unfused B cells. So only hybridoma and unfused B cells will remain alive in the hat medium, because the hybridoma cells, they have this unfused B cells, they already have the HGPND and TK, so no problem. They will carry out the salvage. They will get the nucleotides from the salvage pathway. Okay, and the hybridoma is a combination of these two. So hybridoma also has the HGPRT and TK. Okay, which is not present in the myeloma cells. So now hybridoma also will survive. Okay. Now the unfused B cells will die after some divisions. Now we have already discussed that the normal B cells, they cannot remain alive for a longer period of time. After some divisions, they will die. Okay. Only the cancerous cell can remain alive for a longer period of time. So since in this case, although the B cells, the unfused B cells will survive the hat medium, but they cannot remain alive for a longer period of time because they are not cancer, they will die. Okay. So only hybridoma cells has the property of B cells and myeloma cells. Okay, will survive ultimately, because this hybridoma cells, it is a type of cancerous cell now, because it is having the property of myeloma. Okay, so this cell will remain alive and will continue producing the antibodies. Okay, so that means ultimately what will happen, the unfused myeloma cells will die in the hat medium. Unfused B cells will die after some divisions. So only hybridoma cells will survive. Okay. So this is about the hybridoma. Okay. How hybridoma is used to produce the monoclonal antibodies. Okay.
Sir, hybrid, sir, OMA, sir, OMA